Welcome to Education Lounge.
Hey everyone! Psychologists have literally spent over a century trying to take something as insanely complex as a human being and, actually make sense of it through structured theory. Today, in this explainer, we're going to break down the academic frameworks they use to categorize human behavior. It's arguably the ultimate question, right? What exactly makes you, you? To answer this deeply personal question, we've got to turn the psychological lens inward and examine the very building blocks of our identities. Like, why do you immediately take charge in a crisis while your best friend completely freezes? We're going to find out by looking at how personality characteristics are identified and measured. Okay, so here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to decode trait theory, look at Allport's 3 trait levels, break down the Big 5 ocean model, and finally, check out Carl Jung's psychological types. All right, Section 1, Decoding Trait Theory. Before we get into specific pioneers in this field, let's lay down the foundational concept that ties it all together. So what exactly are we talking about here? Basically, trait theory is a psychological framework focused on identifying and measuring individual personality characteristics, which we just call traits. The absolute key word here is consistent. A trait isn't just a fleeting mood. It's not, getting a burst of road rage because you missed your exit. It's a consistent baseline level of, say, agreeableness or aggression across years of your life. It's that unwavering pattern in your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that reliably makes you totally different from the person sitting right next to you. Moving on to Section 2, Allport's 3 trait levels. Gordon Allport was a pioneer who placed a massive emphasis on our individual uniqueness. Allport believed that our unique traits fundamentally shape our personality, and he organized them into this really interesting hierarchy. Right at the top, step 1 are cardinal traits. These are your dominant traits. Honestly, they're incredibly rare, but when someone has one, it's so pervasive it basically defines their entire life. Think of Scrooge's overriding greed, right? Or Mother Teresa's boundless altruism. But since most of us don't have a single cardinal trait, we move down to step 2, central traits. These are general traits found in pretty much everyone to some degree. They're the basic building blocks of who you are, things like your baseline honesty, sociability, or optimism. And finally, step 3, secondary traits. Now, these are highly situational. They only pop up under specific circumstances, like maybe you're a super relaxed person generally, but you get wildly anxious only when speaking in public, or you're incredibly patient, right up until you have to wait in line at the DMV. Next up, Section 3, the Big 5 ocean model. While Allport focused heavily on individual quirks, modern psychology loves to look at broad dimensions. What's really fascinating about this modern framework is how it takes the absolute chaos of human personality and groups it all into just 5 broad dimensions. It suggests we can understand pretty much anyone just by plotting them on a spectrum across these major categories. It's actually a hugely popular and strongly empirically supported model in psychology right now. And there's a super handy acronym for it, OCEN. First up is openness to experience. This is all about imagination and curiosity. Like, are you the type who loves trying bizarre new foods and flying to unknown places, or do you stick to the classic burger and fries every time? Next is conscientiousness. This basically dictates if you're the person meticulously color-coding your calendar or the friend who comfortably lives out of a laundry basket. Then we have extraversion, which measures your outgoing social energy. After that is agreeableness, basically how cooperative, empathetic, and trusting you are in relationships. And finally, neuroticism, which measures emotional stability and how you handle stress. By measuring where you land on these 5 factors, high, low, or somewhere in the middle, you get a surprisingly accurate picture of exactly where your personality stands compared to the rest of the world. All right, our final stop, Section 4, Carl Jung's psychological types. We're looking back at Jung to examine personality from a totally different angle. Jung popularized a classic dichotomy that I guarantee you use in everyday conversation. He looked at psychological types based on cognitive functions, starting with whether we're extroverts or introverts. Extroverts are outgoing, sociable, enthusiastic, and literally energized by social interactions. On the flip side, introverts are way more reserved. And it's not that they hate people, it's just that a busy cocktail party rapidly drains their social battery, and they absolutely need solitude to recharge it. But Jung went a lot deeper into our cognitive functions than just social energy. He really highlighted how we completely diverge in our actual decision-making processes. Imagine you have to lay off an underperforming employee. Do you rely primarily on thinking? Meaning you're pointing to objective company rules, logic, and pure performance metrics. Or do you lean on feeling, worrying about team harmony, emotions, and the employee's family situation? Now, obviously, we all do both depending on the context, but Jung argued we naturally have a consistent, hardwired preference for one over the other. He also contrasted how we gather information from the world around us. Think about the last time you had to put together a piece of IKEA furniture. Are you rooted in sensing, like focusing on concrete facts, present realities, and meticulously following every single step in that instruction manual? Or are you guided by intuition? Do you prefer abstract concepts, looking at the picture on the box and just trusting your gut to figure out the whole shebang? These cognitive concepts, introversion versus extroversion, thinking versus feeling, and sensing versus intuition, literally became the foundation for the famous Myers-Briggs type indicator, which is still widely used today. So, we've looked through all the lenses. As you sit back and reflect on Allport's hierarchy of traits, your Big Five ocean scores, and your Jungian cognitive functions, I want to leave you with one final big question. Are these consistent patterns of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors permanently hardwired into who you are? Like, is it a fixed destiny you're just born with? Or are they flexible habits that can actually evolve and shift over time with effort and new experiences? It's a pretty fascinating thing to ponder as you figure out what truly makes you, you. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.